Hi students, in previous session we discussed basic information regarding alkyl halides, means what is meant by alkyl halides and their isomerism, what type of isomerism it exhibits and what is their nomenclature. All these things we will discuss. Today we are going to discuss methods of preparation of alkyl halides. In that, first one is from alkanes. As we discussed yesterday, means last session. Sir, cut cheyali sir.
Okay, నేను కట్ చేస్తాను. కంటిన్యూ. నో ప్రాబ్లం. నేను చెప్తే నేను కట్ చేస్తాను.
Compounds in which one or more hydrogen atom if replaced by halogen atoms, such compounds what we call alkyl halides. Alkanes are having general formula CnH2n plus 2. Simply we are going to represent as RH, which upon reaction with X2 we are getting Rx and HX, where X is either fluorine or chlorine or bromine or iodine. But with iodine, a reaction do not takes place, direct iodination. Order of reactivity, if you observe, fluorine is greater than, chlorine greater than, bromine greater than iodine. As we know very well, fluorine is strong oxidizing agent. Since it is good oxidizing agent, reaction of fluorine with alkanes is much aggressive and reaction leads explosion. And similarly, iodination, direct iodination is very difficult because of here whatever we are getting HX means HI, which is a strong reducing agent. So since HI is strong reducing agent, it reduces alkyl halides into alkanes. That means whenever we are using iodine in preparation, direct halogenation of alkanes, if we are using iodine, we are getting byproduct HI, which is strong reducing agent. Since it is strong reducing agent, it reduces formed alkyl halides into alkanes. That means HI leads reaction towards backward direction. Hence, direct iodination we are not supposed to use. Now, let us consider methane. Methane upon reaction with chlorine in presence of sunlight or temperature 400 degrees Celsius, we are getting chloromethane or methyl chloride and HCl. First of all, this reaction takes place in presence of light. That means it is, we can say, photochemical reaction, light based reaction, or we need to provide 400 degrees Celsius. Remember this point, we need to provide 400 degrees Celsius. Now, this reaction takes place in gaseous phase. That means methane and chlorine both are in gaseous state. So, this reaction is gaseous phase and still we need to provide 400 degrees Celsius, or else we need to provide sunlight. So, what happens this reaction? In this reaction, what products you are going to get? So, are the chloromethane or methyl chloride is the final product? No. So, whenever we are using methane and chlorine, we are getting mixture of products, because as we mentioned, it is a photochemical reaction, light based reaction, and this follows a free radical mechanism. And whenever we are using these two reactants like methane and chlorine, we are getting chloromethane and hydrogen chloride. Further, here we cannot stop the reaction. This chloromethane further reacts with the chlorine. We are getting methylene chloride or dichloromethane, and this methylene chloride further involves in reaction with the excess of chlorine. And again you are getting trichloromethane, which is nothing but chloroform. And trichloromethane further reaction with chlorine, we are getting carbon tetrachloride. That means until unless all the hydrogen atoms are getting replaced by halogen atoms, the reaction continues. So, if we try to prepare alkyl halides in this method, means direct halogenation in presence of sunlight or 400 degrees Celsius, we are going to get mixture of products like chloromethane, dichloromethane, trichloromethane and carbon tetrachloride. If we want to prepare chloromethane excess, then what we have to do? We need to use less amount of chlorine and more amount of methane. Even in such a case, we are getting chloromethane excess, but along with that remaining products always possible. Now, as we mentioned that photochemical reaction products depends upon ratio of reactants. Ratio of reactants. That means in which way? Which one is excess? If we are considering chlorine is excess, then obviously no doubt carbon tetrachloride is the final product. If methane is excess, then chloromethane, because of less amount of halogen, chloromethane will be the major product what we are going to get. Now, as we mentioned that this one follows free radical mechanism. Obviously, free radical mechanism means there are three steps: initiation, propagation and termination. Let us, I am going to consider here propane. Propane upon reaction with chlorine in presence of sunlight. There are two possibilities. If you observe here, this one is primary hydrogen, this one is secondary hydrogen, and this one is primary hydrogen. In previous session we discussed that how to identify primary, secondary, tertiary, like that. Now as I mentioned that this one is primary, this one is primary, there are two primary carbon atoms, each one consists of 3 hydrogens. That means total 6 hydrogens are primary here and 2 hydrogens are secondary. This one upon chlorination, let us assume that only one halogen, means monohalogenation product. There are two possibilities. We are getting, if primary hydrogen was replaced by chlorine, then we will get one chloro product, means one chloropropane. If secondary hydrogen get replaced by chlorine, then we are getting 2 chloro product as a major product. Now, 1 chloro product and 2 chloro product, which one is a major product and how we came to know which one is major and which one is minor? Generally, ease of displacement of hydrogen by halogen follows order allylic greater than, tertiary greater than, secondary greater than, primary greater than methane. So how we know that? So how do you write this one? Simple. Already we learned reaction intermediates in which allylic free radical is more stable than tertiary, than secondary, than primary, and obviously methane. So based on that, the one which is a more stable intermediate, from that we are going to get the product that will be major. Now let us see the mechanism here. First step is initiation, in which free radicals are going to be generated. Here chlorine, in presence of sunlight, you are getting 2 radicals, 2 chlorine radicals. This step is nothing but initiation. So during initiation, a neutral molecule is going to give free radicals. That step is initiation. And if you observe second step, this one is neutral molecule, and this neutral molecule is going to combine with radical. So neutral molecule, radical, these two are reactants. And what products if you observe here? Again one radical and neutral molecule. So the step in which one neutral molecule and one radical is going to participate, and final product also one radical and a neutral molecule. Such reactions what we called propagation reactions. So in free radical mechanism, 3 steps are there. What are they? Initiation, propagation, termination. Initiation means generation of radicals from neutral molecule. Chlorine is neutral molecule, from that 2 chlorine radicals are generated. And in propagation step what happened? One free radical is going to react with neutral molecule, produces one more free radical, different free radical, along with that one neutral molecule. This is what we called propagation. Now this Cl radical is going to abstract H either from primary carbon or secondary carbon. There are 2 types of hydrogens are here. Of course this one both are same. That's why I am going to consider this one is primary. Of course this one also primary, either of these two, and along with that secondary hydrogen. There are 2 types of hydrogens. There are 2 possibilities. This chlorine radical is going to abstract hydrogen either from primary carbon or secondary carbon. If it abstracts, chlorine abstracts from primary carbon, we are going to get primary radical. If chlorine radical abstracts hydrogen from secondary carbon, then you are getting secondary radical. So primary radical, obviously we know that less stable, and secondary radical more stable. Now, so less stable intermediate, from less stable intermediate what product we are going to get, that will be minor, and from more stable intermediate what product we are going to get, that will be major. Now this less stable intermediate primary free radical is going to combine with another chlorine. So this is radical and this one is neutral, and we are getting one more neutral molecule along with that chlorine radical, isn't so? So which step do you call this one? As we discussed in a propagation step, one neutral molecule and one neutral molecule and one radical. These two combined to produce one more neutral molecule and one more radical, means different radical, different neutral molecule. The same thing happened here also. If you observe, this one is radical and which combined with neutral molecule. Now it produces chlorine radical, means different radical, and one more neutral molecule. So this one also propagation. So there are 2 steps of propagation here you can see. So first step this one and second one is this one. Let us see here. And here secondary free radical, carbon free radical, as compared to primary, this one is more stable. Since it is more stable, this one upon reaction with chlorine, we are getting CH3, CH means isopropyl chloride, secondary chloride, this one, this will be major. So here primary, from primary reaction intermediate, what product we are going to get, that will be minor. From secondary intermediate, what we are getting, that will be major. Here also along with this one radical. So this one also propagation. And termination step, third one, during termination, two free radicals combine to form a neutral molecule. So which two radicals are going to combine, that we cannot predict. Means any two radicals, like one Cl radical is going to combine with another Cl radical, or one propyl radical is going to combine with another propyl radical, one isopropyl radical is going to combine with another isopropyl radical. So in termination step, you are having so many possibilities. Any two free radical may combine, ultimately produce a neutral molecule. That means termination step is exactly opposite to the initiation step. In initiation, what happened? Neutral molecule produces free radicals. Now in termination, what happened? From two free radicals combined to form neutral molecule. So sir, you mentioned that this one is less stable and this one is more stable. How do you know? As we learned earlier, the secondary free radical, which consists 6 alpha hydrogens, here 3 plus 3 total 6 alpha hydrogens. So more number of hyperconjugation or more plus I effect we can say. And whereas in this case only 2 alpha hydrogens are there and 1 alkyl group, that's why plus I effect compared to the secondary one is less. Similarly, number of alpha hydrogens also less, that's why. So it is very clear, less stable and more stable. The same thing we can also explain based upon thermodynamic data. So I am going to consider propane, CH3, CH2, CH3. Basically its energy is this one. In order to convert this propane into primary free radical, I need to provide 410 kilojoules energy or 98 kilocalorie per mole energy. That means in order to convert this propane, or in order to convert, means when propane reacts with chlorine radical, so we are getting propane means primary radical. In such a case, the energy consumed is this one. Means what we have to provide this much. Whereas for generating secondary free radical, we need to supply 397 kilojoules or 95 kilocalorie energy. So if you observe here, during formation of primary radical, it absorbs more energy, and during formation of secondary radical, it takes less energy. The intermediate which possesses less energy, the intermediate which formed by taking less energy, that will be more stable. So if you observe the thermodynamics of halogenation, like methane upon reaction with chlorine, we are getting chloromethane and HCl. Let us check their enthalpy of formation. Standard enthalpy of formation of methane is 74.8 kilojoule per mole, and standard enthalpy of formation of chlorine is 0, because in elementary states or uncombined states, standard enthalpy of formation is always 0. Here chlorine is elementary state, that's why its standard enthalpy of formation is 0, and whereas for chloromethane standard enthalpy of formation is minus 81.9, and for HCl it will be minus 92.3. So from this standard enthalpy of reaction, heat of reaction we can identify. So overall heat of reaction is nothing but delta H naught is equal to total standard enthalpy of formation of products minus standard enthalpy of formation of reactants. So standard enthalpy of formation of products minus 81.9 and minus 92.3 minus of minus 74.8, this will be minus 99.4 kilojoules per mole. So here delta H naught is minus 99.4 kilojoule per mole. It indicates reaction is exothermic. In the beginning of the alkyl halide preparation, I asked you to note one point, that is chlorination of methane is requires 400 degrees Celsius. If we did not provide that much temperature, obviously reaction do not take place. Now my question, you think about it. So delta H naught means exothermic reaction it is. Chlorination of methane is exothermic. So chlorination of methane is exothermic. Still, is it necessary to provide that 400 degrees Celsius temperature? Means high temperature required? Think once. Now let us check according to bond dissociation enthalpy concept. As per bond dissociation enthalpy, here bond dissociation enthalpy of methane is 435 and chlorine is 242 kilojoules, whereas chloromethane is 349 and HCl is 431. Here also delta H naught is nothing but total bond formation, bond dissociation enthalpy of bonds formed minus total bond dissociation enthalpy of bonds broken. Means if you consider sign, otherwise total bond dissociation enthalpy of bonds broken minus bond dissociation enthalpy of bonds formed irrespective of sign. So that if you consider what number of bonds are going to broken, this much, 435 plus 242, and bond formation energy is this one, 349 and 431, then it will be minus 103. Here minus 99.4, this one is minus 103. These two values are very close. Means thus whatever here we discuss thermodynamic data, bond dissociation enthalpy also supports for that. So now fluorination is highly vigorous. That reaction is explosive. Whereas chlorination, okay, fine, because it is exothermic. And iodination, I mentioned that when we are using iodine, since HI is a strong reducing agent which tends the reaction backward direction. That means iodine is, let us check the thermodynamic data of iodination of methane, bond dissociation enthalpy. Here for methane 435 as usual, and for iodine it is 150, for iodomethane 234, and for HI it is 297. Now delta H if we calculate, same bond for breaking energy minus bond formation energy if we consider, then delta H we are getting plus 54 kilojoule per mole. So plus 54 is nothing but endothermic. It is nothing but endothermic. Positive means endothermic. That means iodination, direct iodination of methane do not takes place because of it is endothermic. Normal temperature do not takes place. Now for fluorination, if you check the values, it will be minus 426, which supports or which is evidence for what we discussed. The reaction is highly explosive. And bromination of methane is minus 30 kilojoules, means this is also exothermic. So it is very clear, fluorination of methane or any alkane, that kinetics we cannot study because of this reaction is highly explosive. Whereas chlorination, fine, it is minus 99.4, and bromination minus 30, and iodination is plus 54. That means whatever we wrote earlier, order of reactivity of fluorine is much more greater than chlorine greater than bromine and greater than iodine. Iodination endothermic, fluorination is explosive. Now we are going to discuss regarding chlorination and bromination only. So out of this chlorination and bromination, which one is more and which one is less? Chlorination, it is very clear. This evidence gives minus 99.4 or minus 103 kilojoule. It leads that chlorination much more fast. Means chlorination of alkane is much fast and bromination of alkane is much slow. Now, why chlorination is fast, bromination is slow? Again question. Because after formation of chlorine radical and bromine radical, abstraction of hydrogen from alkane, that reaction, if you observe the delta H values, for chlorine it is minus 21 kilojoules, and for bromine radical it is plus 44. This is evidence for why bromination is slow, whereas chlorination is fast. త్వరగా అయిపోతుంది సార్ అలాగైతే. So depending upon reactivity and selectivity, as we discussed in previous problem, chlorine is more reactive but less selective. Bromine is less reactive, more selective. If you want to know clearly, check out the percentage of products formed when propane upon monochlorination and monobromination. Here possible products, 1-chloropropane and 2-chloropropane. There are two possible products here, and here also 1-bromopropane and 2-bromopropane. Now you calculate what percentage of a product. First one 2-chloropropane and 1-chloropropane you are going to get, and here what percentage of 2-bromopropane, what percentage of 1-bromopropane we are going to get. If you calculate that, then it will be very clear for you, right? Now one more question, how many monochlorinated products will be formed upon chlorination of 2-methyl butane? So 2-methyl butane also called isopentane. So isopentane monochlorination, how many products we are going to get? 1 2 3 4. It is 2-methyl butane. So this one upon a chlorination, monochlorination I used to mention here. Then what are the possible products? Say if halogenation takes place at first carbon, then we are getting product like this 1 2 3 4 or 1 2 3 4, 1 chloro 2 methyl butane, and second one, if at a second carbon halogenation takes place at second carbon like this, and one more product if halogenation takes place at third carbon, and one more product if halogenation takes place at fourth carbon. In all these 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, let us assign numbering like that. So it is very clear, 1 chloro, 2 chloro, 3 chloro, 4 chloro. Our answer is 4, right? No. Again we have to check. Is there any possibility to exhibit optical isomers or not? Now, here this carbon means second carbon is chiral because it attached to one methyl, one ethyl, one chloromethyl and one hydrogen. So with respect to this one, you are getting two products, two enantiomers. Enantiomers we are going to get. And what do you think about 2 chloro 2 methyl butane? 2 chloro 2 methyl butane. This one is methyl and this one also methyl. Since both are methyl groups, this carbon is not chiral. That means this one you are getting only one product. And let's come here, this carbon is not chiral because of both are methyl groups, but this carbon will be chiral because of one hydrogen, one chlorine, methyl and isopropyl. This carbon will be chiral. And resultant you are getting two products. Again both are enantiomers. Now and fourth one, here this carbon is attached to two hydrogens, that's why this is not chiral. This carbon attached to two methyl groups, this one is not chiral. So no chiral carbon, that means only one product. So what are the total number of possible products here? Total 6 products you are going to get. Now one more question here. Cyclopentane upon chlorination, what are the number of dichloropentane derivatives? Cyclopentane derivatives. How many you are going to get? Let us verify again. Cyclopentane upon dichlorination. 2 chlorine atoms need to substitute here. Let us assume both are attached to same carbon. That means this one is 1, 1 dichloro cyclopentane. 1, 1, 1 dichloro cyclopentane. This is one product. And one more product here. 1, 2 dichlorocyclopentane, and one more product here 1, 3 dichlorocyclopentane. So total 3 products, right? Sure. Check out once again. This one do not exhibit any geometrical isomerism or optical isomerism. Clear? Now let's come to 1, 2 dichlorocyclopentane. In this case, there are two possibilities. One is if both chlorine atoms are cis. If both chlorine atoms are cis, in this case, this one only one possibility because it has symmetry here like this, plane of symmetry. And in case of 1, 2 dichlorocyclopentane, but both the chlorine atoms are in trans. Now this one do not exhibit any symmetry. Due to absence of symmetry, it exists in two forms. Can we say like that? And same case in case of 1, 3, we are getting one is cis, another one is trans. One is cis, another one is trans. So cis again one only, trans again exists in enantiomeric forms. So trans 2, and here it trans 2, cis 1, here cis 1 and 1. Total 2 plus 1, 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6 and plus 1, 1 dichloro. Total 7 products you are going to get. Answer question sir.